Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of U.S. History Made Plain. I'm a high school history teacher trying to make history as fun and interesting for my students as possible. Okay, so we've talked about the Free Soilers. Those were the abolitionists and the Northern Democrats and the Northern Whigs who made up that party. Let's talk about the South though, and how they felt about the Free Soilers and everything that was going on at this time. So the South 100% felt some type of way about the Free Soiler movement because the South felt like slavery was the backbone to the economy in the South. Without slavery, they would not survive. So in the South, they had cash crops and plantations, and so they needed these bunches and bunches of people to work for free in order to make a profit. If they had to actually pay their slaves, they would not have made enough money to actually make a profit. So in their minds, slavery was needed, slavery was necessary, and they didn't see slavery as a problem because it wasn't them who was being held as slaves. We've also talked a lot about the Constitution and how the Constitution runs the country. Well, the Southerners felt like slavery was written into the Constitution, or at least property and the protection of property was written into the Constitution. So they felt like anyone who was trying to take away slavery was trying to do something that was unconstitutional against their right to their property, to do what they want with their property. And so they had a real problem with Free Soilers and abolitionists and anyone who felt like they wanted to end slavery. Many people in the South actually wanted to keep slavery so bad that they were willing to extend the 3630 line for the Missouri Compromise to the Pacific Ocean, because right now it didn't go all the way through California, but they were like, listen, let's extend that line so everything above that line can be free and everything below that line can have slavery, so that way they wouldn't lose their livelihood and their economy. So the issue of slavery was not something that was going to be dealt with quickly or easily in the US. So Lewis Cass, who was a Democrat from Michigan, actually came up with a proposal that a lot of people supported. He said, instead of having Congress decide who can have slavery and where slavery can be in these new territories, why not allow the people to vote? So whoever moves and settles in these new territories, allow them to vote for themselves whether they want to be a slave state or a free state. And that was called popular sovereignty. So a lot of people agree with popular sovereignty, but not everybody. Because remember, in the South, they need slavery to continue. Not everybody in the South was a slave owner, and not everybody in the South had a huge plantation. So there were other farmers, small farmers who lived in the South who may not have needed slavery because they didn't have slaves, or it just wasn't, they didn't agree with it. And so the plantation owners could not wait and see if the small farmers were going to band together and cause a problem in their area. So they didn't want popular sovereignty because they didn't want to leave anything to vote or anything to chance.